Heading out for the lowest temperature camping I've ever cold camped in. As soon as I got out of my car, it's minus 15, leaving the warm car. It's like, what the heck am I doing? But I'm moving now, feel better, and I've got really warm sleep system for tonight. Taking my snowshoes off because there's a groomed snowmobile trail here. Not needed, I'm not sinking in. Okay, scoped out a nice little flat spot here in the woods. I'm getting cold pretty quickly here, standing around. I get a sweater on, get set up, and I get a fire going. So here's my spot tucked in between these trees. There's a down tree here which I can use as a seat, have my fire here. It's pretty nice, it's cozy, and I brought a tarp, but I think I'm just gonna go without, sleep under the stars. There's even a chance of northern lights tonight, so it's nice just to be able to look up and see. These really cold nights can be the most beautiful in winter because cold usually equals clear skies. Got a good old closed cell phone pad here, sheet of Reflectix, and I'll put my R-Value 5 pad on here later just so an ember doesn't fall on it from the fire and create a leak. Gonna change my top layer. I'm not gonna be sweating now, I'm sure of that. Before it gets any colder and I wuss out and just wear this. I didn't really sweat, but I'd rather make sure that this is bone dry. Coldest temperature tonight is supposed to be around 1 a.m. and then it's supposed to warm a few degrees by the time I wake up. But it's not going to be warm again until I get back in the car, basically. Laid down some dead branches here to act as a little platform for my twig stove, so it doesn't sink down too much. It's too hard to do with gloves on. Make it quick. Just about to lose the sun, and temperature's starting to drop, minus 17. Lots of fresh snow here to use for drinking water. Put these up on this log. Nice warm seat. This little firebox or big twig stove keeps this lower impact, way less fuel. Just need some dead sticks. This will do for all I need tonight. I do need a fire to boil up some water just to keep it in my sleeping bag tonight as an extra heat source. And for dinner, I'm having Korean barbecue. That feels so nice. Just this little fire, like this produces a nice flame to warm your hands on. Okay, I've been looking forward to dinner all day. It's time for some Korean barbecue. Sorry to disappoint. It would be way too hard, just way too much effort to do that out here. And when it's this cold, it's getting close to minus 20 now. Your food gets cold in like 15 seconds, so it's just not worth it. But I love chips, so, and I haven't had these ones before. Pretty good. I've only had one bag of chips ever that was not edible. It was called Devil's Barbecue, and it was made by a store brand at a Canadian grocery store. And if you've ever been to a hay maze or a barn where there's hay on the ground and it's kind of rotting, it tasted like rotting hay smells. I added something new to my filming kit recently, and I've been dying to do this forever. Have you ever seen cold? Let's have a look. Alright, check this out. I've got a cold spot meter, a hot spot meter, and just a meter in the center roughly. There's the twig stove. There's a composite, so you can see outlines of things on the thermal image. However, it's a little off. I'll have to look into how to fix that. Wow, look how much warmer the woods are. Yeah, according to infrared, we're well into the minus 20s now. Let's see what a thermometer looks like. Huh. Okay. What do I look like? If I point it down, can you see? No. It's probably inside me right now. It's very cold. Here it is with just the infrared camera. no composite overlay. And yeah, that's pretty cool. It's struggling in the cold, this infrared camera, but getting something out of it. 22 below on the thermometer now. If a wind kicked up, this would be really tough, but it's dead calm, thankfully. Use hot water to help stay warm. Thermos water is still hot, and the thermos itself inside is still hot. I'm going to pour the boiling hot water in there, because if that metal is ice cold, negative 22, it's going to chill this water really significantly. And I want that water to be boiling hot when I open it up in the middle of the night. Keep my Nalgene in this Reflectix Cozy to prevent the water from freezing or slow it down significantly. I'll keep this in my sleeping bag with boiling water inside of it as a good little heat source, and then I can dump this out in the middle of the night and refill it with this boiling hot water. Yeah, the water I just poured out of it is still close to boiling hot. Okay, that feels good. Oh, actually I just want to have this in my hands. Oh, that's so nice. Back to dinner. Officially hit minus 24 on the thermometer. Doesn't feel too bad yet. Toes are starting to get cold. I've got minus 70 rated boots, which sounds like it would be plenty, but that rating is always highly inflated. But sitting around, not generating heat, you get cold with anything on. Alright, I'm gonna let the fire die out. It's dark. It's going to be dark for 16 hours. There are only 8 hours of light at this time of year, this dark time. But that feels so good in my hands. I'm feeling it now. I'm looking forward to the sleeping bag. It's reading minus 25 right now on the thermometer. Take this last little bit for one sip. One nice hot sip. Whew. You can see why I like the hot tent a lot more than this style of camping, but variety is the spice of life. This is fun. It's getting dark. However, I just realized that it's a full moon tonight, so that probably cancels out much of the stargazing or northern lights chances, but full moon would be cool. Pulled the tank from my sled over here. Gives me a little place, kind of like a nightstand to put things out of the snow. And if I don't make it through the night, it's a convenient body bag for search and rescue. No, I'm kidding. I realize the gravity of someone diving into this who doesn't know what they're doing, but this ain't my first rodeo. I said at the start, this is the coldest I've cold camped in. Camped it within the hot tent at minus 36, so that's with the stove going. Much different. But I've camped around minus 18, minus 20, and yeah, so this is incremental. I brought 2 sleeping bags. This one's a good minus 20 mummy bag, and then a minus 9 down bag, and I'll use this on the outside because it's larger. And this already feels so nice. I can't wait to get into these. Set up a trail cam here to hopefully capture my movements at night. Just so you know that I am sleeping out here. I know a lot of people question that. Then I'm going to get my snow pants off, long johns on, and hopefully not get out of the sleeping bag too much tonight. I will wear this big sweater in there. Some people will say just let the down do the work. Don't wear too much clothing. But I like to have a sweater on if I want to get out to pee, get up in the morning, and get up to film at any point in the night. I don't want to get out with almost nothing on. It's just not possible. Oh, it's cold. Funny, most of the evening I was thinking, oh, this isn't too bad, but as soon as your body temperature starts to drop and you're not generating body heat, you feel it pretty quickly. I'm going to just do some squats or something before I get in the sleeping bag, just to bring up my body temperature a little bit. Full moon coming through the trees. Probably won't pick it up. And honestly, it's somewhat of a relief to not have to film stars or northern lights tonight. That'll wash it out, the moon. Most likely. Didn't really want to do that tonight at these temperatures. One last order of business today as I take off my boots. I'm going to open them up fully, really wide, because if I just yank my foot out right now, it's going to freeze into that position because of the moisture that's in the boot right now. And I'm also going to swap in my spare liners for the boots. It has a removable liner, which is really, really invaluable in the winter. If you get a soaker, you can swap it out, or yeah, just for an overnight trip like this. I'll ditch today's and dry it out at home. Start tomorrow with this fresh one. Okay, long johns are on. I can finally get in. That's nice. Feels immediately nice. Here comes the hot water bottle. Give it a test first. Oh, take the cozy off to maximize the heat that it gives off. Get this bag warmed up, both bags. Oh, man. There's the moon. Got my bag warmed up. Been warming it up for 10 minutes or so now. Feels amazing. There's a first moment when you get in where you feel like you could never be warm. You'll never warm it up, but it gets there. I've got this balaclava here, merino wool, and I want to sleep with it, but there's not enough ventilation here and it just makes a wet mess around my mouth. So I got a new one and I'm hoping this will work. The nose area is lifted up and it's got all these breathing holes and it's firmer there as well, so it should keep it a little distance between my breathing orifices and the material, because they get wet with all the exhalation and condensation. Another fleece balaclava, fleece hoodie, and a fleece/wool hoodie. I can feel some mustache icicles here. I'm gonna get rid of those before I tuck in. Alright, all set. Feel good. It's not good to have down on the outside, especially sleeping under the stars when I'm sure this is going to be covered in frost in the morning, where my body heat meets the cold air. But I'll be home tomorrow. We'll dry it out. Now, what to do for, I don't know, 13, 14 hours of darkness left. Can't read. My hands will get freezing if I hold a book here. Nothing else to really do. Podcasts, audiobooks. That's all I got for the rest of the night. And sleeping, hopefully. Wow. There are some stars for sure, and the trees look beautiful. Right above me, moon in my peripheral. This is awesome. Glad I went without the tarp. At 25 below, you get a rather unique notification from your phone. Charging stopped. Your phone's temperature is too low. Charging will continue when the temperature returns to normal. Yep. Anyway, podcast time. I listened to two, Conan O'Brien and Colin and Samir. Colin Samir is a creator podcast. Well, let's get this party started.
Hello, listeners of the Colin and Samir Show. What's up, everybody?
Sure hope I don't have to pee. Oh man, that's so nice. So here's the trail cam I set up, and it captured me turning over a number of times through the night. At 7:59, the temperature aligns with the other readings at about -25. By 8:50, it said -29, which was surprising. After that, the cold seemed to get to it, and in the middle of the night, it started tripping out. Even the aspect ratio of the footage somehow changed, which is weird. But here's what it did capture, and it says it's in the -30s here, but that would really surprise me based on the forecast. Regional differences of a few degrees, I would believe, but -36 when the forecast called for -24, that seems unlikely. By morning, it had warmed up a couple degrees as forecasted, and my analog thermometer aligned with that forecast too. Whatever the case, it was cold. And the toughest part of the trip was about to come, getting out of the sleeping bag and packing up. 7 a.m., just pulled out of my sleeping bag, -23, and I have spent 13 hours in this sleeping bag. Thankfully, I did not have to get up to pee. I do really have to pee now, but made it. It wasn't great, but it wasn't awful. All around the collar of the sleeping bag, there's frost like this. See some snow on there too. There are some really light flurries right now. That's not a big deal. That'll shake right off. But yeah, this thing worked well. It's so tough having your nose fully exposed and your mouth because they just get so cold all night. It's damp in here, but at least my nose and mouth were warm. Okay, I gotta pee. Inner sleeping bag is all good. No frost or anything except around the collar. Toughest thing right now is trying to stuff things into their stuff sacks and do anything with these big gloves on. I'm just going to stuff everything into the big long tank and then cinch up the tank, and that'll get me home. My fingers are just freezing. The nice thing about snow, when it's this cold especially, it's dry. Like, everything can touch the snow, it doesn't matter. It's more like sand in the way it falls off. Alright, I didn't end up switching out the hot water. It wasn't worth getting out of my sleeping bag. Let's see just how hot it is. Still nice and warm, very warm, but certainly not boiling. Cold really puts a dent in that. That'll help right now though. I'm gonna give the skis a quick wipe with this scraper. Snow and ice build up on them really slows them down. Alright, mission accomplished. I don't think I'll be doing it again anytime soon, but it was a great experience. I'm looking forward to getting back to my warm car and warm home. Got about an hour hike to get out of here. Okay, does the car start? Woo-wee. Cheers to warmth.